Thank you. So I think we're all that's standing between you guys and lunch, so we'll try to keep this entertaining. Talk about the sharing economy a little bit, which, as many of you may know, is a pretty broad category. So we're going to start with some presentations from some startups who are working within different aspects of the sharing economy. We're going to do 5-minute presentations so we get a sense of what some early stage startups are working on, and then we're going to do a panel with some companies that are a little bit later stage to talk about how they think about the sharing economy and what they're up to. So to start, we're going to have Jonathan Gillon, co-founder and CEO of Roost, come up and tell us a little bit about what they're up to.
Hey everybody, thanks for having me. I'm John Gillon, co-founder and CEO of Roost, and I want to start off today with a little show of hands. How many of you guys have ever had a horror story related to finding a storage or parking space or having a storage space? So I see a lot of your hands up, but I'm sure most of you have had nightmare parking in any city you've ever lived. So that's why we created Roost. Roost is a peer-to-peer marketplace for finding and renting storage and parking spaces in private homes. Now, the concept for Roost was born out of a real-life need when my older brother moved from Austin to San Francisco. He had a car full of stuff. He moved out a week early before his job started, or for his job, before his apartment was ready. He was crashing on my couch and tried to rent a storage facility for all his belongings, but no facility would let him rent for less than a month. So when I offered to let him use my apartment's storage closet, I saw the immediate relief on his face and had the aha moment for Roost. So we have launched about 2.5 months ago. Roost launched, Roost.com. We've been growing at a rate of about 50 new Roost spaces around the Bay Area a week, and we're in beta in the Bay Area. And we are missing a slide in there. It's okay. So the market for Roost is really large. Storage and parking together account for $64 billion in the US. But what Roost is doing is creating an entirely new market that's residential storage space. And that's pretty unquantifiable how many attics, how many closets, how many spaces under the beds, how many nooks and crannies in their houses can all be monetized. And in the classic sharing economy fashion, we're reducing the price per square foot of what's available right now, and we're increasing the transparency, the flexibility, and the trust and safety of actually dealing with your neighbors. So for renters, the benefits are many. Instead of going to Oakland, if you're in the Bay Area, or Treasure Island, or Fremont, or somewhere far away to find an affordable storage unit, you can find something affordable in your building or across the street with a neighbor, with someone who's happy to take your stuff because, hey, they're getting paid. So for our hosts, the biggest driver of why they're roosting their extra space is the extra income. And people are getting creative. It's not, you don't need an entire empty garage for Roost. Any type of space that you have, you can monetize. So for hosts, they get to set their price, they set the access, whether or not someone can have the key and come in and out whenever they want, or maybe you have to give them, the host, 24 hours notice if you want to come and access your stuff. And they get to also pre-screen all the renters and never have any obligation to accept a booking unless they feel totally comfortable with what they want to store in their house. So Roost functions very similar to Airbnb, which I know most of you are familiar with. You go on and you find a space where you're trying to store, or whether you're trying to go, or maybe where you are, depending on what type of event has led you to need storage or parking. When you find a space, you send a request to the host, and you tell them what dates you want it, what you want to store, and you start a conversation. And once everything is, the details are ironed out, hosts may have a few extra stipulations, they want to know what you're storing, then you confirm the booking and coordinate the drop-off. Roost handles monthly automated payments, so the payments are taken from your account, dropped into the host account, and everything is smooth. You don't need to think about it until it's time to come pick up your stuff. So Roost takes the safety and security of the platform very seriously, as do most sharing economy companies. Our ratings and reviews help people, help weed out bad actors and learn from good experiences. We have a $10,000 insurance guarantee right now for the renter's belongings, but we are very soon going to be increasing that and ensuring both sides of the transaction. And we verify people's info, so you know that they're a real person with their Facebook and IDs. There's the slides. So it's a huge market, and it's growing. It's with rising costs of living and increased property values, the need for Roost is growing because the costs for the alternatives are constantly rising. We are a two-sided marketplace connecting the renters, who are college students, to athletes, to anyone who needs a car, to hosts who might be sharers already, or budget-sensitive students who will get creative and need the cash, or property managers who benefit from the calendar management or the automatically deposited payments. And we take a transaction fee from these guys. We also have other partnerships, so Roost can remain pure platform, like moving parties, hauling, repo. And we are currently only in the Bay Area, expanding to New York and DC shortly, and then we'll need your help to go to cities beyond that. And we've got a table outside, so happy to talk to you guys after this if you want to come by. Thanks so much for having me.
All right, next up we're going to hear from Zander Adell at Doorman, which is a 500 portfolio and a portfolio company doing some cool stuff.
How's it going? Thanks for having me. My name is Zander. I'm with Doorman, and at Doorman, let's see. There we are. At Doorman, we've reimagined package delivery for e-commerce with an on-demand mobile service. So everybody loves shopping online. It's amazing. It's like perfect. I mean, except for the part where you actually get the stuff you bought. That part's pretty broken. Either a package is left on your doorstep, or it's rained on, or stolen, or you get a missed delivery tag on your door, or you get to spend a Saturday at some package pickup warehouse miles from your house. And this makes people pretty mad. I found this little gem on the internet the other day. And the problem is that this reflects badly on the retailer. The other problem is that there are people out there solving it, and they're going to heavily differentiate themselves from what's going on in the rest of the retail market. So as these guys provide awesomer and awesomer delivery, everybody else is going to be left with a delivery system that was designed in the 80s. So that's where Doorman comes along. We provide package delivery on demand until midnight, 7 days a week. And we came out of 500 startups in May. Since then, we've delivered 5,000 packages. The Doorman app is available in the iOS and Android stores now. We've been up and running since March of 2013 and have really started growing now. So here's Polo with his car. These are the drivers doing the deliveries every night. We have a fleet of drivers out there. They're all background checked. And so customers are able to use a mobile app to get all of the packages that they're ordering online. And I'm very excited to announce that at the MEF Global Forum 2014, this will be the premiere of our latest announcement. At Doorman, creating a great customer experience is, of course, our top priority. But at our heart, we're a technology company.
we brought together some of the top engineering minds in the world to answer the question, how can we make autonomous package delivery a reality today?
And Doorman Blade was born. We're really proud of what we've achieved and can't wait to see what people think.
All right. Thanks for your time.
So those guys work out of our office, and I'm like, drones? I haven't heard about this. Like, what the hell is going on? All right. Next up, we have Micah from Open Garden to come up and tell us about what they're doing. And he's a last-minute substitution, so thank you for joining us.
Hi everyone, my name is Misha of Open Garden, a startup based in San Francisco. We are on the Bay Bridge on a small island called Treasure Island. And I would like to tell you a little bit of the stories of our latest app, FireChat. But before I start with the story of FireChat, I'm going to share with you why we created this company and the amazing technology that's available today. So basically, with Open Garden, you can now, with a free app and your phone, create your own network. It means that you and your community or a group of people, when you are all together, you can decide to create an infrastructure that's completely independent from any carrier, any mobile operator, and that can operate by itself just by you having this phone and a free software installed on your phone. And we call that the Internet of Us. And recently, it was used, and you probably heard about it during the Hong Kong event, because there were so many people in the streets of Hong Kong that everyone was trying to use their usual social networks like Facebook, Twitter, or their messaging apps, and nobody could connect to the internet because there were so many people in the streets that all the networks were congested. And we were lucky that prior to the event, one of the students who was one of the leaders asked all the students to install FireChat. And during the 4 days of the event, a bit more, we got like more than 500,000 people who installed the app in the city of Hong Kong. So when they tried the usual social network in the crowd, it didn't work. But with FireChat, they had still a tool to enable them to communicate with people around and pass information. What's amazing is Twitter released the official number of tweets related about the event during the first 4 days of the event. And the number of tweets globally was 1.3 million tweets. In the same beautiful period of time, you had 2 million chat sessions on FireChat in the city of Hong Kong alone. So when you know that the chat session is involving 2,000 to 1,000 of people having a conversation, it's a lot of content and data that was exchanged during this period of time. FireChat, the way it works is creates direct connections between devices. So it was used also last summer at Burning Man by a small group of people. What was interesting is we saw this community of people starting the conversation at Burning Man, and then after Burning Man, keeping on having this conversation live and organizing other events following the Burning Man event in many different places on the planet, from Beijing to New York, and still a gathering on FireChat to have this conversation and organize these events. So not only it's a fantastic tool when you don't have connectivity, but it's also a great social networking tool. It builds instant connections, so it can be used at Burning Man, but also during concerts, live events, large conferences, where often a network is congested or the Wi-Fi is not working properly. And so we enable all our users to have this connectivity experience happening. What's great about FireChat, it's real time, and today in the current version, it's almost like if you have a megaphone and you shout an information and you have then thousands of people who can react in real time, giving you their feedback. So if you go on FireChat and ask for what's the weather like or what's happening this afternoon in San Francisco, you will probably get tens of answers from people who are on the application. So we like to call this the Internet of Us, and that's why I mean, we are on the panel of the sharing economy. We believe it's thanks to these technologies the first time people can really start to create their own network and share their access. So that's what it looks like as a graph when you have several phones connected to one another. And it also means that you can extend the reach of the internet. So if a few people in a group have access to the internet, the other people with the application can benefit from that access. And what we are doing is enabling third-party applications to take advantage of that network, or also Internet of Things, so small devices to be able to connect to the internet through this network. And so just so the white shapes on this graph are the small devices, and then as you can see, you have some devices on the internet, some others that are not. And that's how we believe the future of the mobile internet is going. It's very pragmatic, doesn't require any investment in infrastructure. It's fantastic for improving user time and in countries like the US, but it's a fantastic opportunity mainly to bring connectivity in places where there is no infrastructure or where data plans cost a lot of money, like all the emerging markets, India being number one on our target. Thank you very much, and speak to you later maybe.